year ago, I came back to Mercy Hospital, now UPMC Mercy. I had been here 20 years ago as a hospital chaplain in my 30s, and now coming back in my 50s, I'm grateful for the opportunity to meet new people, listen to new stories, have new experiences, share new crosses to accompany God's people with. Each day brings new opportunities, new challenges, new graces, and new blessings. Behind each room, curtain, calls, pages, daytime or night, one must have a faith stance to be vigilant, to be calm and confident that God is with us. I feel richly blessed to be part of a rich tradition of the oldest hospital in our city of Pittsburgh, founded by the Sisters of Mercy from Ireland in 1847 of our cafe. To be an agent of hope, an instrument of peace, and a sign of Christ's compassion. When I came here almost a year ago, they were doing a scavenger hunt to see how many rooms needed crucifixes and crosses. Of all the religious symbols in the world, none is more universal than the cross. The cross is the symbol of death, hatred, ugliness, betrayal, the scourge of humanity's greatest sin. And yet the cross is a symbol for Christians of love, obedience, fidelity, faith, sacrifice, commitment. This past year, I've given 13,000 prayer cards to patients. And the prayer card has Christ in the center, carrying the cross. And a Jesuit priest, who was a Jesuit priest for 68 years, Father Mark Link, most of his writings were for young people and new generations. This is the prayer on the back of the card that every patient I visit receives. Lord, give me strength. Give me your strength, Lord, because sometimes things get tough and we're ready to quit. Give us your love, Lord, because sometimes people reject us and we're tempted to hate. Give us your eyes, Lord, because sometimes life gets dark and we lose our way. Give us your courage, Lord, because sometimes we're put under pressure and it's hard to do what is right. Give us yourself, Lord, because our hearts were made for you and they will not rest until they rest in you. Henry David Thoreau says that each of us has a story. But the backdrop of each of our story is salvation. Christ saving his people. I've been a pastor the last 10 years, and I had a Franciscan priest come to do a parish mission. We would do missions every other year. His name is Father Albert Hasse. His father committed suicide. He's from New Orleans. And like Bishop Barron, he's a well-known evangelist in our country. This new book that just came out in the last month entitled Practical Holiness, Pope Francis as Our Spiritual Companion. He tells the story in the book that one day he was out in the Midwest and giving a parish mission. And there was a dentist who made an appointment to come and see him during the mission. And the dentist had a flourishing practice. And he had everything you could want in life. Nice place to live, nice wife, nice family, nice profession, well respected in the community. And all of a sudden he was stricken with MS, multiple sclerosis. A disease that insulates and covers the nerve cells of the brain and the spinal cord. that damages the nervous system to communicate. And it affects people physically and mentally and at times psychologically. So this man went to see Father Aberhase in his wheelchair that he was confined to the last number of years. And he said, "Father, I've been in this wheelchair for more than 15 years now. And I begged God to heal me, to give me the grace to stand up one day, push this wheelchair away, and walk freely on my own. I prayed and I prayed, but I got no reply. Why God won't answer my prayers, I don't know." Using the right hand of the armrest of the wheelchair, the man continued with great crackling emotion. And he said, "This is the enemy. This is my chain of slavery in life." And the priest, Father Hasse, said, "Tony, Tony." And he tapped his armrest and said, "It's not the enemy. It's not your chain of slavery. This is your path to holiness. The moment you surrender and accept the cross in your life, and you embrace it, then you're on your way and you're free. You can be free with multiple sclerosis. What do we need to be set free from this Good Friday? The core of Christianity is the Paschal path, the Paschal mystery, that through the life and the suffering and the death and the resurrection of Jesus, our path has eternal value. Our incarnate God became one of us to take on the joys and the sorrows of the human condition. The cross for each one of us comes in various shapes and various sizes. It can come in the form of a divorce, a friend's betrayal, a loss of a job, financial woes, the trauma of lost innocence, the effects of a natural disaster, the thrones of an addiction, haunted memories, hurts and grudges that seem to never be resolved, the sting of loneliness. The evangelist Billy Graham, who died last year at the age of 99, said, "Be kind to everybody you meet on the journey. You don't know the cross they're carrying. And most people's crosses are invisible." On Good Friday, we make our way with Christians throughout the world to embrace the mystery of our salvation, the cross. There is no other way but to embrace the cross, to carry the cross, because the cross leads to glory. The Venerable Fulton Sheen, on Good Fridays, they ran out of tickets. They were sold out at St. Patrick's in New York, Good Friday after Good Friday. And this is what Fulton Sheen said: "The passion of Jesus Christ prolongs itself consciously in all those who by their act of the will join their frustrations, their anxieties, their fears, their loneliness, and their sufferings to his cross. For we have been crucified with Christ, and the life we live now is not ours, but Christ who lives in us." He echoes the words of Paul's letter to the Galatians in chapter 2, verse 20. Jesus is the high priest who knows well our fallen, broken, and weak human nature. And yet he went to the cross to redeem humanity, to save us from our faults and our weakness. He prayed vigilantly and obediently to do the will of his Father, even if it meant death. The source of salvation for every one of us is the cross. On this Good Friday, we will come to venerate the cross, to adore Christ. What spirit will we bring? A gracious or bitter one? A forgiving or vengeful one? A loving one or a hate-filled one? A trusting one or a paranoid one? A hopeful one or a despairing one? Good Friday is a reminder that good can result even from the most difficult of days. The only way to Easter is through Good Friday. And wisdom of St. Francis of Assisi over 800 years ago. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed